Pete's Pythons, that's at Pete's_Pythons. Do you think the NFL is pricing everyday fans out of the market with all the streaming services one would need to be able to watch their out-of-market games? Pete, I'm going to take this to a more of a big picture conversation, which I think includes all of sports. I think when it comes to ticket prices, when it comes to the amount of different platforms that games are on, I think there's a real risk all sports leagues are running right now in that it's going to be hard to pull in the casual fan when they're really young, when they're 6, 7, 8 years old, the drive-by fan who, watches a baseball game or a basketball game as background noise in their house, as something their dad is watching. Is that middle-class family going to be able to go to a game or go to multiple games? When I was a kid, sports were just on the TV. Random games were just on the TV. I would go to games with my dad on a whim. Hey, you want to go to the Red Sox game tonight? We'll go to the Red Sox game. I don't know what the effect of losing that's going to be, but I think that that's much less common. If you go to these games now, the crowd is very corporate. There are less kids there. It's less family friendly. It's not what it used to be. And I think getting kids in, again, is like very reliant now because of all of those things on those kids playing those sports, and they're not going to play every sport. And so it's just very different than it used to be. And because again, like you got analytics people that have come in and said, like, this is the most we can charge and let's charge them the most we possibly can. And here are all the different ways that we can kind of spread out like our broadcasting content and get it over here and over here and over here. It's becoming less accessible to young kids. There's going to be less of young kids bumping into those sports. And and to me, that's such a huge thing, because where's the audience 10 years from now? The kids who are going to be 20 then are 10 now. When those kids are in college, off on their own, without their mom and dad, are they going to be turning on games? Are they going to be going to games? Are they going to be able to afford to go to games? Like, I think these are all very relevant questions across all of sports. Now, the NFL is protected to some degree in that NFL games are events. The broadcast issue that you're referencing doesn't really hit the home teams the way it does in other sports, because all the home teams are still over the air and free. But it's something to ask. I think it certainly exists as far as attending games in person when it comes to football. It's something that I think sports owners, sports leagues are going to have to keep an eye on. Because again, if the goal is to make the most money right now and to take home the most money right now, you might be cutting into where your audience is in 10 years, in 20 years. And does some of the greed that's out there to collect every single dollar, to clean every dime off the table that there is to make right now, does that come at the expense of something in 10, 15, 20 years? Do you have a smaller audience because of that? Do you have more of a niche audience because of that? Does every sport become a niche audience? I think these are all really interesting questions to ask. And I certainly think that that's something that has to be on the NFL's radar. I'm sure it is something that has to be on the NFL's radar and the radar of all sports leagues.